Tuesday, March 11th, took us to race 8 at PARX, where my top pick was number 1, Cojelo Pa Ti, and it scored with him on his last start when he won, and I liked him again coming back, even with a big rise in class, and got the job done today, as you can see on the result chart. Wired the field at 5-2, paying that even $7 to win. My second choice, Colonel Bob, didn't fare as well, finishing fourth at 6.5-1. But the $7 wager, as you can see in the bankroll, went on the winner, and that gets us to just barely back to an $8 wager for Wednesday. The amount of the wager is always 1.5% of what's in the bankroll. So we're back to an $8 bet for Wednesday. Added a little money to the piggy bank in the far right column. Always take 7% of the profit, put it in the piggy bank. And Wednesday we'll go to Gulfstream Park and race number 4, which is a mile and 70-yard race for maiden claimers with a claiming price of $50,000, going on the all-weather surface at Gulfstream. And my top pick will be number 4, War Warrior. And my second choice will be number 1, Forever Now. And see what looks to be the two best early speeds in the race. See if they end up being the two best in the race. War Warrior could easily stalk the pace set by Forever Now, who really seems to be really intent on the early lead, and not so much for War Warrior in his 7 starts. And he's raced 4 times on turf and 3 times on this all-weather surface. Well, I should say an all-weather surface because it's been in Woodbine. War Warrior has traveled around between Gulfstream, Aqueduct, Woodbine. And last time out, came off a long layoff, dropped to a $75,000 maiden claiming race on the turf here at Gulfstream. And from post 10, stalked the pace while 3 or 4 wide, and got bumped at the quarter pole. And when he was within a length of the lead, and ended up finishing 5th, beaten only 2 lengths, and got placed 4th through a disqualification for that bumping incident. So this 3-year-old maiden gelding drops to $50,000 claiming today. And as I said, number 1, Forever Now, likes to try to wire the field, and got claimed last time by Jose D'Angelo, who does very well first off the claim. So we'll see how things pan out on Wednesday. And looking at the sire stats, War Warrior is by War Will, who's had 10 previous winners of this type of race, which is a maiden race for younger horses on dirt. And 2 of the 10, or 20%, have come at 8 to 8.5 furlongs, and this being at a mile and 70 yards, which is 8.31 furlongs. The layoff figure, 183, or 83% above the average. Apologize again for the missing information in the purse column. This only happens when it's a claiming race and the purse is between $40,000 and $50,000. get my programmer to correct that at some point, but it just doesn't show up that frequently, but it does in this particular case. Going to the broodmare sire report. Broodmare sire is Sharmadal, who's had only 3 previous winners of this type of race, so the stats are based on the 24 total dirt wins. And all weather surfaces are combined with traditional dirt for my statistics. And the key, well, 46% of those 24 winners have come in 8 to 8.5 furlongs. It's a solid percentage there for liking the distance. And the layoff figure of 166 or 66% above the average for getting those winners on 23 to 36 days rest. And finally, over to the trainer report. And the trainer, Mark Cassie, 95 previous winners over the last 3 years of this type of race, 27% at the distance, and the layoff figure of 146 or 46% above the average. And you might, your eyes might be drawn to the great layoff figure for Ronald Spatz, the trainer for Switzerland Jammin. Certainly, Mr. Spatz seems to really do well getting his maidens to win, coming off more than 60 days rest. But if you go back to the sire stats for Switzerland Jammin, you'll see that it's a low percentage play for this maiden to get this particular distance, and that's why I didn't care much for Switzerland Jammin. So we'll see how things go with War Warrior. Make it a great day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.